Welcome. Sorry, we had a little bit of we didn't get on yesterday, but we did make some parlays. But today it is Fantasy Friday, where we're gonna make it known on here. If you got any fantasy questions as far as your fantasy football lineups, your fantasy basketball, if any of you or you even play fantasy basketball, I'm playing currently right now. I mean, I'll tell you one thing: if you're betting basketball tonight, if you have any Golden State Warriors, a la Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins, they all four will be sitting tonight. Yes, the Warriors will be sitting them. And yes, the Warriors are on a 4-game losing streak, might I add. And if they don't win tonight here, obviously, the likes of Moses Moody and obviously Jonathan Kaminga and some of the other Warriors players that, are basically making the new nucleus of the Warriors from the bench are going to have to really step up tonight and really try to get the job done in New Orleans against the Pelicans. So, not going to be an easy task for those fellas there, but, they're ballers out there. So, they might be able to get the job done, but I don't know. But just letting you know as far as fantasy is, that's going down. Yesterday we had Thursday night football. I mean, everybody thought the Eagles were going to go walk up in Texans and go out there and put a butt whooping. Yeah, it took them. It took them, to the fourth quarter where Davis Mills threw two bad interceptions, which led to the reason why they ended up losing by 12. Uh, and some people said that was a bad beat. I had the over 45. They went for the 2-point conversion, so they made it 46. Some people just weren't, happy with that. I mean, hey, if you were a Texans bettor and you thought the Texans had a good chance, which on a short week, I mean, they had a good chance. I mean, they went down the field to start the game and really looked like a decent team. Didn't look like the team that's just, I mean, I don't want to say they're tanking, but obviously Brandon Cooks did not play, was supposed to be traded. Obviously he's not happy being there. So I mean, right, I mean, I don't know why they didn't trade him. Obviously, if you're the Texans, he doesn't want to be here. You could trade him to a team that you could probably get some, obviously some prospects, or maybe somebody in return that wouldn't mind coming, and hey, maybe a situation needs to be, because obviously if they would have traded Brandon Cooks to someone, obviously maybe somebody that's a contender, obviously maybe the Rams maybe come to get him, because the Rams could use some receiver help, but they're banking on obviously Odell Beckham Jr. coming there. Maybe he went somewhere else. Maybe he goes, to somewhere else. Maybe could have went to Dallas, or whatever. I mean, Dallas could have used him. I mean, surely Dak Prescott could use a Brandon Cooks alongside CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and company. So I don't know, but they did put up a pretty decent showing against Philadelphia, who is still undefeated. Might we add, still undefeated. And obviously next week they're playing the Commanders. The Commanders are playing at home. Yes, they'll be hosting the Minnesota Vikings this weekend. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup there. And so we really want to show everybody what it's really made of here. So so without further ado, let's get into what we had as a par. We'll talk about the parlays before we break it down into the fantasy here. Yesterday, this is what we had as far as our multi-sport parlay here. We took the over 45 points in the Eagles and Texans. That was minus 110. We had the under 7.5 runs between the Astros and the Phillies. The Astros won 3-2. Justin Verlander finally got his first win. I took the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers on the money line. They won by 7. So that was plus 130. I took the over 52.5 in the Alabama A&M Mississippi Valley State. I wanted to take Mississippi Valley State on the money line yesterday, but I didn't, and they ended up winning 30-20. So They're no longer, they've been losing all season. They got their first win last night. Jerry Rice's alma mater, college that he went to. I mean, congratulations to Mississippi Valley State, the Delta Devils, for getting their first win last night, and not going over. I know there's a couple other college teams this weekend that will be playing to see, like, I always like to see, like, we always talk about who's the undefeated teams. What about the teams that haven't won a game? Like, will a team go winless in the season? Obviously, we always think about teams going undefeated, but what about teams just are so bad that they can't even get a win, not even a close win, not even but we took an L there. We had the over 226 total points between the Warriors and the Magic. That covered. We had the under 228 and a half points between the Nuggets and Thunder. That went over. And then our two hockey bets actually covered. The New Jersey Devils actually came back and won, and the Chicago Blackhawks came back and won against the Los Angeles Kings. So we were 6-2. Hence, if I would have took Mississippi Valley on the money line, and if I would have took the over, if I would have took the over instead of the under, I would be $320 richer today. But yeah, not didn't happen. And we had a player prop that we did as well. NBA. I had Klay Thompson to score over 17 and a half points. He surely did. I had uh I had Moses Moody to have under 9.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That cashed. I took Pablo Branchero to have under 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. He crushed it. And then I had Nikolai the Joker to score over 25.5 points. He surely did. And I had Josh Gidley to go under 2.5 turnovers. I should have had him going over. He had 4, so that's what killed my parlay there here as far as my player bet prop parlay. So, but yeah, if anybody's got any fantasy sports questions, please let me know right now. Basically I'm basically in my basketball right now, so I don't know too many people that are obviously playing too many fantasy basketball, but Damian Pierce, I kept him in there. He got me about 13.9 fantasy points. And AJ Brown in there, he got me some good points. I mean, obviously the Philadelphia Eagles defense got me some points here, about 8 points. So we did well there. So I mean, so hopefully this weekend, I'm kind of waiting for these other guys and these other matchups or other players that I was thinking about putting in, but maybe they're injured. I might have to switch somebody and put somebody else in. So yeah, we'll see about that. But surely we are here to answer any fantasy questions that you might have, that you might be struggling with. Obviously, fantasy basketball here tonight. It starts about 4, depending on the games. And like I said, we'll break down the games here. Obviously, I'm wearing the Miami Heat hat tonight. They are playing tonight, obviously. I got to do my daily fantasy in my Yahoo. So we'll do this here. We'll do the live DFS here as far as, instead of my, usually when I don't do my player prop, we're going to do our daily fantasy players, what I kind of like here. So obviously with the Warriors here, you know that there's Kaminga and there's going to be Moses Moody. Obviously, I player prop Moses Moody. I obviously picked up in my one, like I have a Andrew Wiggins, so he's technically out, so I could put him in the IR spot, so I technically could pick somebody up. So I picked up Jonathan Kaminga in the hopes that he's going to play pretty well. That he'll, I'm obviously, I mean, I'm not looking for him to have a 40-point night, but if he can have at least double-digit points and have some decent rebounds and play, at least a solid game, and if he gets 20, if he gets over 30, I'll be like, holy cow, like. But a lot of people don't understand. Jonathan Kaminga came up from the G League, and he built himself up, and the Warriors drafted him on the merits that he was going to be this guy. well, everybody's kind of saying, well, these guys aren't these guys. These guys are kind of bums. Well, these guys haven't had opportunities and solid minutes to have to prove that they could be a vital part of the Warriors. And this is what Kerr's doing. He's putting these guys out there. He's saying, "Well, guys, we've been struggling. Hey, that's just sit. That's just sit, Steph. Let's just sit these guys. Give them a night off to just chill, and we're gonna put these other guys in here and let them get a start. See how well they can do. It's the beginning of the season you know, as veteran teams like the Warriors, they're trying to micromanage minutes. That's what the NBA is now. They try to save the players, which is a good thing, especially for certain players that are prone to injuries, and that way down the stretch you could give them a little more minutes down the stretch because you manage their minutes early on in the season. But I'm a type of person where I would like to, not have it ramped up all the way, but have certain situations where you play a lot of minutes, but then the next games you kind of play, cut the minutes down, you know, and I'm a believer in that. I mean, if you want to sit guys out, that's fine. Obviously, sometimes it's just giving guys rest because some guys are just older and they need that rest because otherwise, younger players, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. I mean, there's always a method to everyone's madness, but what is theirs? But so yeah, I'm looking at matchups here definitely, especially for DFS. You want to look at matchup purposes to see how well people are doing and all that. All right, Aaron Rodgers was questionable. I was like looking at this, like going, like, what's going on here? Why am my thing all beeping off? Like beep 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 beep. All right, I was thinking. All right. So we will run down tonight's games here. Let's run down the options that we have for tonight here. Obviously, we got obviously we got NBA here tonight. We got some college football. We have the NHL. Golf is going on right now. We got the Grey Cup playoffs this weekend here. The Canadian Football League. We got boxing Saturday. We got UFC, Vegas Apex, NASCAR playoffs. Last race here with the championship there in Phoenix. We got the Bundesliga. We got the Liga. We got soccer. We got World Cup is coming up here as far as you know in the next 16 days. So we got about two weeks and 2 days till we get to see some World Cup here. United States opens up against Wales, so gonna be an awesome matchup here. Wales, they play pretty well. United States is this is the first time in a long time that we've been in the World Cup. Um, we do got a competitive bunch of guys, but will it be enough to get wins and to move on in the World Cup and try to even if they don't win it, actually show people that Team USA, the men at least, are trying to at least acclimate and be just as good as the women's national team. The women's soccer national team they're just amazing, amazing bunch of women, and they and they go out there and they do their thing, and nothing should be taken from them. They go out there and they do their due diligence and they play their hearts out and they play the best soccer and they represent us well. So put respect on the women's name. And I know a lot of people don't want to put respect on a lot of women's sports, but we have to, because as a man, we came from a woman. Okay, we didn't, let's be honest. That's if we love women and we love like people we say, then we need to respect them and we need to support them. They support us. You know, if they support us, why aren't we supporting them back? You know, and it can't be, well, it's because they can't dunk. That's just really BS and sexist, to be honest. I mean, let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. You know. But there's just some women that don't even watch it either. So I'm not saying it's either sexist or not. But you know what? Hey, we gotta respect and represent and support our women just as much as we support the men's teams. All right. With that being said, here we have the NBA today. We have the Miami Heat taking on the Indiana Pacers. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Detroit Pistons. So we got a Eastern Conference Central Division matchup here between the Cavaliers and the Pistons. Cavaliers are they're in the driver's seat in the division, and in the conference too as well. And so you got them, obviously them in Milwaukee at the top of the division, and the Pistons are going to be competitive as they always are. So we'll see how that matchup goes tonight. We got the Brooklyn Nets and the Washington Wizards. Kyrie Irving has been suspended officially from the team for 5 games due to his conduct. What everybody. If you don't know what Kyrie Irving did or did not do or tweet he did, I'm not gonna sit here and spew this as whatever, because I'm not here to tell you how I personally feel about certain things. I'm just here to tell you this is what it is and this is what's that. Okay, Kyrie Irving has always been, a lightning rod for things. He says these things, and do I personally think he's gonna apologize for the way he believes? No, I really don't. So therefore, the NBA and the Nets got to figure out what they want to do with that, you know. And obviously, if you kick him out of the league or you fire him misrepresently, he can sue based on defamation of freedom of speech, regardless that it is, you know, hate speech or whatever, or just, negative speech, bad speech. And, I mean, I get it. I don't like hate speech just as much as the next person. But when we start taking people's, you know, we have to be accountable. And yes, he should be accountable for what he said and what he took down. He should be accountable for that. And he should take responsibility for that. But if a person isn't going to take accountability and responsibility, so then what do you do with that? Well, obviously, this person, you got to deal with them in a certain way. If you don't want that to be a thing or so, then you got to deal with it in a certain type of way, and should have. And shame on the Nets for doing that. And you fired Steve Nash thinking that was all going to be a better thing, but it just makes the situation all bad in Brooklyn. So how do they play tonight here in Washington? I don't know. Do they get a victory? I don't know. They're a team that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Right now they're a little, they got more perverting things than basketball right now, worrying that franchise, and obviously said so player and this and that. So moving on. We have the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden has a foot strain, so he's going to be out at least a month. So obviously, hopefully Joel Embiid will be back tonight, but James Harden, that's going to hurt a little bit here, obviously. And the Knicks, I mean, Knicks have been a pretty competitive team. Yeah, they've had some pretty bad and rough losses. So we'll see tonight if they can capitalize on the James Hardenless 76ers. We have my Chicago Bulls taking on the Boston Celtics here. So we're, and you know me, I love my Bulls. I'm always going to root for my Bulls. So, I mean, we're plus, it's obviously 7 tonight. We have an over under 223 and a half. Going to be a good game here tonight. I expect Boston to be competitive and really want to, stick it to the Bulls here, because I believe earlier in the season we ended up beating them at home. So gonna be a good game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls get beat pretty handily down the stretch. Let's see, Clippers versus the Spurs, a very interesting matchup. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard here started off with the Spurs, his career and everything, gonna be going back there, but I don't think he's playing tonight. So obviously, it's not gonna really affect anybody. Obviously, the Spurs are getting back Kendall Johnson here tonight, which is awesome for me in fantasy because I have Kendall Johnson. I believe he's one of the better young players on the Spurs. But Spurs obviously are dealing with something as well with with Josh Primo over here, who basically, now it's come out that the team, the team doctor, basically she got fired because this and that or whatever. I mean, it's a bad mess. It's a bad mess. Things like that should be taken seriously and should be addressed accordingly. But unfortunately, they're not. And unfortunately, it's a shame on these franchises for trying to make money, or just because, okay, this didn't happen. Oh, well this person's lying. Well, do we have proof that this person's lying, or do we just, And I'm not trying to persecute Mr. Primo either and say that he's just some weird dude that likes to just show, women his junk. Oh, I'm just saying, obviously where there's smoke, there's fire, because now, not only did that happen, but now there's another a woman coming forward. So obviously, it's like Deshaun Watson. Okay, obviously some guys got fetishes and things of that nature. Well, there's places for that. Okay, and people that, you know, are willing to oblige for what your fetish is, okay? But some normal people don't are into that crap. And if you're trying to coerce or whatever type of shit, people don't like it. Hey, if people don't like it, just leave it alone. Don't even bring it up, don't whatever. And I'm not saying that these people are being whoever's the aggressor or whatever. I'm just saying, don't put yourself in these type of situations. But sometimes, because you're a public figure and this and that, I know you get targeted, but everybody's a target. Just more public figures are easier targets to attack and than other people, because they're more famous and they'll get more attention. Rather than if people attack normal people, it happens on an everyday basis. It doesn't really matter because the normal people don't really matter, right? That's how they think we are. We just don't exist. But they need us to work and they need us to do this, they need us to do that. But and so it just, and like I said, I don't want to get into it. All right, we got the Hornets versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Interesting matchup there. We got the Warriors taking on the Pelicans. Obviously now you know why why the Pelicans are plus 10.5 here. And you got the Raptors at the Mavericks. That's definitely going to be a really interesting basketball game. We got the Milwaukee Bucks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We got the Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns. We got the Utah Jazz and Los Angeles Lakers. That is your NBA. Now we have college football here tonight. We have UMass Minutemen versus the Connecticut Huskies. Obviously, Connecticut was a very terrible team. Now they've actually turned it around a little bit here. UMass is kind of still a not very good football team, a much better college basketball team, much like UConn. UConn is a very good basketball team as well. But yeah, their football team, their football program was almost about to be decimated and not heard of again. But it was resurrected, and actually they're playing well tonight. So they're favorite to win by 15.5. We got ACC matchup between Duke Blue Devils and the Boston College Eagles. Obviously, the Duke Blue Devils are favored by minus 11.5 points. And last two games we have a Alcorn State Braves and the Prairie View A&M Panthers. These are two HBCU schools. universities. And we have the Oregon State, the number 24 ranked Oregon State Beavers taking on the Washington Huskies in a Pac-12 affair late night out there in the West Coast, out there in Washington. Gonna be a rainy one, so bring an umbrella. It's always raining up there anyway. So those are your college football games. Let's run down hockey here tonight. Already we got a game underway. We're already in the third period here. The Colorado Avalanche are leading 5-3 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, 8 goals is a pretty high scoring affair, to say the least here. All right, so therefore, we only have one more other game. We only have the Buffalo Sabres and the Carolina Hurricanes. So we only have two games to speak of, but we got early morning hockey tomorrow. Tomorrow we got early morning hockey. We got the Islanders and the Detroit Red Wings early in the morning. We got the Avalanche and the Blue Jackets playing a home and home, just like the NBA. Then we got the Chicago Blackhawks and the Winnipeg Jets. We got the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. So all right, so World Series will resume on Saturday, where we have Zach Wheeler and the Phillies taking on the Houston Astros and Framber Valdez here. The Phillies are now trailing in the series now 3-2 here. Astros can clinch the World Series with a victory on Saturday. Phillies can force a game 7 if they win here on Saturday. Now, I like this game for 2 reasons. I believe the Phillies are going to be ready to play. Phillies had a chance last night. They started coming back. They were down, but they started coming back. But ultimately they couldn't come back. Obviously, the Astros got a lot of momentum and a lot of pressure to come home to clinch and win a game. Phillies, whether they win or lose, I mean, it's been a hell of a ride for them. But Zach Wheeler has been one hell of a solid pitcher for them so far. So, and same thing with Valdez. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing a solid game. I mean, I understand why it's over under 6.5 runs, because both these pitchers are very solid. They're both hard to hit off of, but they both can give up a run or two. So, but it remains to see if the Phillies will strive up to fight another game, or will the Astros win another World Series pennant. We will see Friday. We'll see Friday night. I mean, not Saturday night. Sorry. So, with that being said, here, let's see if anybody's in here that has any fantasy questions. If not, we are going to start talking about the games here, and we're going to talk about some fantasy here. Like I said, fantasy sports is pretty amazing. I don't know if anybody's ever played fantasy sports, but that's what we talk about here. We'll break down some props, break down some daily fantasy, what I got to do here for my daily fantasy basketball, shoot them hoops. So, we love hoops. I love hoops just as much as I love football here. Football, just like football here. It's like good old football here, you know. It's like the good old football here. I love my basketball. I love my basketball too. So, but yeah, I mean, we didn't really get on here yesterday, but hey, some days we'll be on it, some days we won't. But you know what? We'll try to keep some content every day. Obviously, there's college football. We got a couple of college football games today, a bunch of college football games to talk about, and like I want to do tonight. I kind of want to do a segment. I would love to do some play by play, So I don't know. Maybe I break down some of my games here. Then maybe pause. We do a little bit of play-by-play in the NBA, and then maybe later, late night, we go into a little bit of a college, some games that we like, of the week that we believe are the good games. Obviously we got the big game. Everybody knows the big game in this week. Number one Tennessee versus number three Georgia. Obviously, it's a must win for Georgia here. You know, because if ultimately Tennessee wins, it's an easier path for them to get to the playoffs. Obviously the championship game than if because if Georgia wins, then it makes it a little more tougher, on Tennessee, and then it just becomes okay. Does this team lose? Does this team lose? This team, you know, that type of deal. Who loses to who, by how much? Did I lose to somebody that had a good strength of schedule, but just or did they lose to a shitty team that didn't really have a good schedule, so their strength of schedule, and then just because they're not a very good team compared to a team that is ranked, and you're playing a bunch of ranked teams, even though maybe their schedules aren't that great, but maybe they're just still ranked or were ranked at one time and still have a decent record. That helps you know that helps you out a lot. So all right, so all right, without further ado here, we'll get into some plays then. We'll talk about some plays here tonight here. What kind of plays that we like here. All right. Let's start off with the Miami Heat versus Indiana Pacers here. Obviously, we have when we're talking that here, we got trends here. Let me bring up. I want to bring up. I gotta get these trends. Gotta have these trends up here. You know, 'cause I like having my trends up here, so that way when I'm talking, I got. I mean, and that's the thing. See, people that think that I don't look at trends. I look at certain trends, of course, obviously, you know, but it's not like I lean heavily on that. I kind of just look at that like, okay, makes me kind of makes me either like something a little more or less, or like, okay, because what this is telling me, it's telling me that they do this. So kind of where I'm picking is kind of makes me feel better. Makes me feel a little more comfortable. Then but doesn't mean that, oh, that's always going to be the outcome and that's 100% gonna cash me money and cash anybody else. No, there's no guarantees in this life. I'm telling you right now. The only guarantee is life and death and taxes. It's the only three fucking guarantees you got: life, death, and taxes. Only three things you can count on. So that being said, we look at Miami and we look at the Pacers here. Miami's 4-5. The Pacers are 3-5. So both teams, obviously, you know, when it comes to wins, well, let's look at against the spread here. We'll look at against the spread. Indiana is 50% to the cover against the spread. Now, when you're looking at Miami, on the other hand, Miami is more down towards the bottom. They're 22. They're 22.2. So they've only covered against the spread. They're 2-7 against the spread. So the Pacers are a little bit better. They're 4-4. They're about 500 when it comes to against the spread. So obviously they are against the spread. Or well, the Heat's +3. So But then we kind of look over these teams to see, okay, what kind of teams are these? Are these teams that do these teams tend to play over, or do these teams tend to play to the under? Well, if we're looking at these teams here, Indiana is a 50-50, and Miami's 4 to 5, 55.6%. So 56% to the under, 45% to the over. But when we look at Indiana, Indiana is a 50-50. So Indiana can go either way. Indiana has cashed higher, but then they've gone lower. So that makes me kind of worry a little bit here to think like, oh man, well shoot, what's going on here? All right, so they want me to, do I take the under here because I mean, do I take the over here? Do I think the Pacers can, outright beat the Miami Heat here? I mean, to me, it really depends on, matchups and who's available. Obviously, I like to go to the underdog here because it tells me a lot here. Has to do with a lot of the news feeds and everything like that, such nature here. So Trey Young is questionable for Saturday. Mo Wagner will be out for Saturday here. So will Gary Harris. And so will Cole Anthony. Terrence Ross listed as questionable for Saturday. Cameron Payne is listed as out for the. So De'Aaron Fox is practicing, so he might be back here. Trendon Walford is not playing tonight. Anthony Simons is out tonight here. Max Christie, Doug Christie's son, is sent back to the G League. Seth Curry is out Friday, expected to play Saturday though. Kobe White is listed as out for the Bulls tonight against the Jalen Duran is now listed as questionable. We got Simone Fetchichao is available tonight. I don't know who that is. Probably butchering his name. Jabari Smith Jr. does not practice here Friday. Obviously, Jayshawn Tate has missed practice on Friday, so two guys there. We obviously knew Draymond Green's out. Klay Thompson, Wiggins, and Steph Curry are out. Obviously, we got Khem Birch is questionable for the Raptors. Zach Collins will be available to play for Spurs tonight. Isaiah Roby will not. Romeo Langford is ruled out. Dwayne Dedman is now listed as questionable for the Miami Heat. Obviously, got Seth Curry's out. Bryce McGowan's is recalled from the G League. Lou Dort had double digits here, so looks like that's about it so far as the injury report. We can always just go to the teams and see what. I mean, obviously, I'm wearing a Miami hat, so I would so much love to pick the Pacers. I mean, I'm telling you, Indiana. But I don't know. Maybe my lean plays the +3 with the Pacers here. Not so much the money line here. I mean, I don't know. Over under is a little tricky there. I mean, I think there could be more points, but I don't know. Then we have the Cavaliers and the Pistons. Cavaliers -5.5 here. Pistons. Last time I leaned on the Pistons, uh, it was a +11.5. Good thing I did not play that because that was a bad read, and it would have been a bad beat if I would have bet it. But these two teams definitely know they could put up points here. But I don't know. I feel like there's a So I feel like the Cavs here have been on a roll here. Pistons play well at home, but do I think there's going to be a lot of points here? I don't know. I would, if I'm going to play something, I will play the over here. I know maybe that's not the traditional play for these teams here. Let's look at Cleveland. Cleveland's the over here. Cleveland, and then you got Detroit 66. So yeah, so both teams definitely, according to this trends, have been trending towards the over. So let me not speak ill will of the over here, but next game we have the Brooklyn Nets and we have the Wizards here. Obviously, there's no Kyrie, there's no Seth Curry. Seth Curry will be playing tomorrow night. Um, I mean, my 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 original play here is I thought, hey, it's kind of too good to be true. Maybe the Nets play really better without Kyrie Irving, but I don't know how well the distraction and the loss of Steve Nash for this team. But maybe this team wants to go out and play. You know, so I'm gonna lean the Brooklyn Nets money line plus 126. Um, I don't know. They have to do something. And I'm not sitting here and talk about the Kyrie Irving situation. It's no, no. So moving on to the Knicks and to the 76ers here. I kind of like the under here. I kind of like the under 219.5 here. But I mean, I think there will be points. I mean, I would because of Harden out. I would love to take the Knicks to jump all the way over. I mean, if Embiid's out too, but I doubt Embiid's out. I believe Embiid's playing tonight, so I didn't see anything in Embiid's out, so that's why I would lean the under. Bulls versus the Celtics here. Um, what I like here is the Bulls. We've been winning. We went on the road against the Nets, the debacling Nets here, but we're playing the Celtics. They're a much better team, much better team. But my thing is, do we put up enough points here tonight? Here, do the Bulls put up enough points here? So I kind of, I'm kind of leaning the under here. Kind of leaning the under. I want to see here. I mean, obviously, we'll look to the trends here. The trends tell me that Boston covers the over 57.1%, 4-3, and the Bulls are an under team here, and they're 4-5. They're the same as the Rockets and the Heat. So they're very so. We have the Clippers and we have the Spurs, and we have 225.5 here. Um, here, here is kind of tricky because I think the Clippers, because I mean, but I don't like the three. I don't really like the 3.5 here. I definitely kind of lean the money line here. And then we have the Hornets and then the Grizzlies here. Um, the Grizzlies blow out the Hornets here tonight. Here, I I don't think so. I mean, I'd like to think the Hornets could cover the plus 10.5 here. That'll be my the Warriors and the Pelicans here. I'm gonna take the under 228 here just because the Warriors starters are out here, and I think just that's that's pretty much. We have the Raptors and we have the Mavericks here. I mean, I like the Raptors here. I like the Raptors here a lot. I think the Raptors play a really good style of basketball here. So yeah, maybe we take the Raptors over the Mavericks here tonight on the play there. That's our play. Bucks and the Timberwolves here. I like Timberwolves plus the 3.5 here. I like that a lot here. Um, we have the Suns and the Trailblazers here. I like the under 217 here. And the Jazz and the Lakers here. Lakers kind of been on a hot streak as of late here, but I've not been on the Jazz as of late here. But my late sleep pick would be tonight here. Jazz money line here. Jazz money line. All right. So we got that here, and obviously we're not gonna look at NHL tonight here. We obviously got college football here. Um, UMass and Connecticut here. I would probably take the. I would take the. If I had to pick a side, I really wouldn't want to put this in my parlay, but I would take the over 40 here. And if I'm picking, if I'm picking Duke against Boston College plus 11.5. I would lean Boston College plus 11.5. I don't think they're that terrible of a team. Um, these two games I kind of like a little bit here. I kind of lean. I kind of definitely lean to the Beavers here money line. Um, Alcorn State and Prairie View here. I got kind of burnt. I got burnt on the over. But I would want to lean over here. I want to lean over maybe, but I don't know. I mean, right now, yeah, I would just kind of lean that. Not want to say I'd take that, but I would lean that way. So there's our lean plays for the day. We will break it down into a parlay format for ourselves here, but yeah. So we're at the two o'clock hour here where we like to do. I got my day. We got a daily fantasy here. All right, we got the upcoming here at 4 here. We got the NBA here because this right here tells you like exactly like who's gonna be out. Okay, is this guy a game time decision? What kind of? All right, so we got Anthony Davis is questionable with a back injury here. Well, that was Wednesday, I guess. I don't know. We know Curry's out. Harden's out. Jimmy Butler's out here. So Jimmy Butler's out. So I don't know. Maybe I reconsider. Trying to look see if anybody else is out here. Wiggins is out, so we know. All right, so Zach, his knee felt good, so that's good. That's good news to say. Tyler Hero might be a good play since Gordon Hayward's out here, so yeah, I don't know. Definitely probably fade Charlotte there. Clay Thompson and all them. Jordan Poole, I think Jordan Poole's gonna be playing tonight as well. So maybe we see Jordan Poole out there hammering it home, hammering it hard. Out here. The four will likely be tabbed questionable once again for the team's next matchup against the Warriors here. They'll be remaining to see. I mean, if I'm them, the Warriors are playing their guys. I don't know why I would put Herbert out there, Herbert Jones out there. So we got that. All right. Ayo must be playing here. Oh, he's cleared to play. So okay, so he's cleared to play. So he'll be playing tonight here. So just kind of want to see just yeah. And he probably won't be playing here tonight here. Gisper. But does he play tonight here? We got Zach Collins, so he'll be playing here. So, well, no, he might be just like a fantasy center guy. So, all right. All right. So, let's go to our pick'ems here. What we like to do here. All right. I mean, since Jimmy Buckets is out here, definitely like Tyler Hero. I definitely think Tyler Hero can definitely step it up here. You know, you're gonna have Kyle Lowry's gonna step it up. Max Struess. You know, you got Caleb here. You have a man Tyrese Halliburton. I like that here. Miles Turner, the burner Turner here. Got R.J. Barrett here, and we got Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson here. You should be able to eat pretty good here. Then we have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal here. We got Chris Chips. Then we have Cade Cunningham. We got Bojan Bogdanovic, Sadiq Bey, Jay Ivey here. It's Cavaliers. We don't have any Cavaliers players at the moment here. DeMar DeRozan against Boston here. We also got Zach. We got Nikolai Vucevic here. Ayo. Patrick Williams. Tatum here. And Brown here. And Marcus Smart. Al Horford. Derek White. Malcolm Brogdon. Grant Williams. We got Paul George. Reggie Jackson. Marcus Morris. Zubac. Norman Powell. Luke Kennard. John Wall here is playing tonight. You got Jakob Pertl here. We got Keldon Johnson here. We have Devin Vasily. Looks like he's going to be playing tonight here. Trey Jones. I'm staying away from you, Trey Jones. Then we have Charlotte. We got Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington here. Mason Plumlee here. We got Dennis Smith Jr., Jaden McDaniels. We got John Morant. Looks like Desmond Baines playing tonight. All right. Like that, Matt. I like those two. Jordan Poole, definitely. I mean, looking at Jordan Poole, definitely is going to, definitely be somebody to have to hammer home today here. Definitely be, he's probably going to, Jordan Poole is going to be probably the most, put in there along with Kaminga, some sort of Jordan Poole, Kaminga, or Mosley sort of stack. Maybe Jonathan Wiseman maybe out there as well. Uh, looks like Herbert Jones. He got his props up here, so it looks like he might be playing tonight. That's good for me as fantasy. Zion Williams, obviously, definitely. Exactly. Zion. You got Brandon Ingram. These guys are just gonna. These guys are just gonna feast tonight. It ain't gonna be close. Yeah, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, my man Scotty. And you got Luca. You got the Luca. Luca didn't cash on my player prop here last time here. So, but we liked. I enjoyed it here. I mean, I thought that was a good number, and even though I got screwed by the half. Got Christian Wood out here. Got the big Wood. Got Giannis, Drew Holiday. Brooke Lopez is another guy people might want to look at as far as the center. Jeremy Grant here. I mean, Nurkic, Josh Hart. Ooh, we got Sheldon Sharp here. Let's look at him. Rebounds. He's gonna have to have rebounds. He's gonna have to have points tonight here. So he's had 15 and 14. So I wouldn't count him out. You know, you got Devin Booker, you got Chris Paul, we got Cam Johnson, we got Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton finally playing. We got Laura Markkanen, we got Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley here, Kelly Olynyk, Colin Sexton, Lee Beasley, got LeBron James, we got Lonnie Walker, Patrick Beverly, Troy Brown here. What about Matt Ryan? What about Matt Ryan? The pun that Matt Ryan got a game winner and it wasn't in the fucking NFL. There's a Matt Ryan that plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. Isn't that the ultimate pun there? The ultimate satire pun. What I think about the Rockets here? Rockets. I like the Rockets. Definitely they're a good team. Um, are they winning tonight here? Let's see. Oh no, the Rockets aren't playing tonight. Houston Rockets ain't playing tonight. But I think the Rockets are an ever improving team. So I definitely like them a lot. They're definitely a good team to bet on. Especially, if especially when they're heavily underdogged. I like them a lot this year. I think a lot of people aren't going to give them a shot and a chance. And I bet them when they beat the Jazz. So I took them on the money line. So yeah, I like the Rockets this year. I think they're a good team. Are they going to make Do I think they make the playoffs? I think they can be competitive enough to have a chance to fight for the maybe the 11th or 12th seed. Maybe get in that 11th seed if they get competitive down the stretch. But I think they're at least a 11 to 13th team. I think they're on the cusp of making the playoffs here. But unless some teams really start to shit down the stretch, and the Rockets play like the Pelicans did last year, I think they have a good shot. But I don't know about this year. I'd say that I'd say they have probably I want to say they probably have a 20% chance of making the playoffs this year. If I'm be honest with you, I mean I like the team. I like the young guys they have. I think they just need to try to get some guys that are guys like a John Collins, or get some of these guys like a Devin Booker, or somebody that, I don't know if we say Booker, but somebody that's a star, another star power guy to go with these young guys to kind of help them. And to me, obviously, it would make most sense is if you had like Miles Turner, like if the Pacers traded him to the Rockets. I think Miles Turner fits very well with the Rockets. Would help them, and like I said, obviously a John Collins. The Rockets give up some assets, and they get John Collins, get Miles Turner, with obviously having Sengun, keep Sengun there, keep Jabari Smith there. Obviously you got KJ Martin, you got Jalen Green, you got Kevin Porter Jr., and you obviously got a veteran still with Eric Gordon. So I would like that here a little bit more. You know what I mean? than if the guys they have now, and they might have to trade like Jay Sean Tate maybe, or like I said, you have to draft capital, which I don't know if they have that. That's because, and I don't think honestly the Hawks are willing to give that up. I mean, I could see the Pacers trading away Miles Turner to the Hawks for just because the Pacers would want to get and get some of their other young guys that they've been trying to push in because of that log jam that they have there. But yeah, but yeah. I mean, if you want to ask me if I want to tell you a sleeper team right now that definitely like I didn't see coming in the season playing very well, and due to their was the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, I mean, they play really well basketball together, and obviously they got Colin Sexton, they got Laura Markkanen. I mean, these guys are stars, but they're not like. And so, but then they got Jordan Clarkson, who's been in the league for a while and been competitive and still is competitive. They got Mike Conley, who's a veteran guard there, kind of like Chris Paul, really good leadership, really good guy, knows how to handle the ball really well, And then they just got a bunch of other young guys and young pieces that they're trying to put together to make this roster be competitive enough to compete in the Western Conference. And obviously, they got some assets back from trading away Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. So future for the Utah Jazz is going to be very bright because they got a lot of draft capital and a lot of other things. So, but they're definitely overachieving and playing well as a team this year. That's a team that I did not see coming in this season playing the way they were going to play. And as far as like the Eastern Conference, a team that's kind of surprised me that I didn't think was going to be playing as well as I thought they were going to play, and that's the Wizards. I'd say the Wizards. The Wizards are a team that like you know you want to write these guys off, but man, they're playing pretty good basketball, and I mean their record isn't too spot on right now. I mean, they're 4-4, so they're not terrible. And so I thought at least, they'd be towards the bottom. I mean, obviously, the Rockets are the worst team. Then you have Orlando and Detroit, which are pretty obvious. But then you have the Lakers 2-6. You have the Brooklyn Nets 2-6, and you got the Golden State Warriors 3-6. Now, Lakers, Lakers, Nets, and the Warriors are three teams right now that I mean, am I worried about the Warriors right now? No. Am I kind of worried about the Lakers? A little bit. The Brooklyn Nets, I don't know. The Brooklyn Nets better figure it out. I mean, they better figure it out because them and the Warriors were gonna take a step back because of the young players and the guys they got rid of. Obviously, they got rid of Porter. Otto Porter Jr. played well last year off the bench. They had Gary Payton the second, Gary Payton's son, the Glove Two, as I like to call him, Glove Part Two. Um, and so you're gonna have this transition. There's no Iguodala there no more. He's in the coaching staff. There's no Leandro Barbosa. He's coaching over there in Sacramento now. And so I mean, there's no Sean Livingston. There's none of these other guys that. So now you're trying to win. You're trying to build the winning culture with these young guys, but these young guys have got to earn their rights to know when it's their time to step up and to be relied on and called upon to be able to handle the situation and be able to be, like the Warriors have been, and just in their own ways, and just make it the new wave to continue on that dynasty, or else that dynasty is going to have a ripple in it. But a lot of people counted them out last year. Thought the Warriors weren't going to be nothing, and the Warriors ended up going and doing what they did and win a fucking NBA championship. So I'm not so worried about the Warriors being down here as much as maybe the Lakers or the Brooklyn Nets, especially. So that's what I'm looking at right now. All right. So, all right. So we're gonna make our parlay here. We're gonna just I just want to kind of I want to look at as far as the let's go over here. I want to look at college here for a second here. College football here and look at gonna be rainy weather in Washington here between number 23 ranked the Oregon State Beavers against the Washington Huskies here. The we're definitely all right. We got UConn is 4-5. UMass is 1-7 here. So let's take a look at both these teams. Obviously, both teams going in opposite directions. Obviously, UConn 4-5 here, UMass. But if you look at both teams here, both teams generally don't score a lot of points. UMass scores 12 points a game, but they give up 30 points a game. Then you have UConn on the other hand. They only score 18 points, 17.6. So we'll give them 18. 18 points a game, and you give up 26. So definitely two teams that score, and two teams that, obviously on the opposite side of the spectrum here. I mean, obviously they lost 28-0 to Temple, 20-13 against Eastern Michigan, 42-24 at home against Liberty, 34-7 against Buffalo at home, and then they lost 23-13 last weekend here at home. So they've been on a 3-game home streak and did not win. And and if we're looking at UConn, they went to number 24 North Carolina State and got butt whooped here, 41-10. But they ended up winning against Fresno State, 19-14. Went on the road, beat Florida International, 33-12. So that was a 45-point game there. Then they lost to Ball State, 25-21. So that was 46 points. But last week they beat Boston College here at home, 13-3. So if it's me, both these teams don't score a lot of points. So okay. All right. So I said the over 40 in this game here. Maybe we would take the under here. Maybe if we keep this in there, we'll take the under. The under or like I said, 15 and a half. I mean, I don't know. I mean, UConn, they only won 13-3 last week. So, but I mean, do I trust the Minutemen right now? I don't know. So let's look at this Duke and Boston College game. Obviously, Boston College only put up 3 points last week and lost to a UConn team, so they were on the road here. So I don't know. Maybe they come home here, but maybe they come home and can get a victory here. And again, obviously Duke, they score 34 points per game. They only give up 22. And Boston College, they only score 17 and gave up 28. Obviously, Duke beat Miami, Florida on the road here, 45-21. So obviously that went over. And then they're at home against North Carolina, went over. Obviously, Georgia Tech was under, over. So Boston College here, they went over at Wake Forest, but that's because Wake Forest put up some points. They definitely probably went the under against Clemson as well. I mean, Boston College ended up beating Louisville at home, so and Louisville's a pretty tough team. Louisville's a tough team here. Uh, Obviously, they had the 12.5. They got 12.5 over here, but we got Boston College. We got Boston College plus 11.5 here. Isn't that bad here? I mean, I don't know here. Against the spread here, they're 1-7 here. So do we just say it goes under, or we say it goes over here? Let's see. Now we're gonna go back to college football. We're gonna go to our college football trends here. Let's look at here. Let's look at the over unders here for teams here. We're looking at Duke and Boston College. The Oregon State, they're to the over here. Same thing with Washington. So there's definitely gonna be points in that game for sure. But let's look at the teams we have today here. Boston College here. Boston College and Dukies. Boston College and the Dukes. The Dukies are 57.9% to the under. Boston College is as well. So what is it over under here? 47.5 points though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Connecticut beat Duke here, or Connecticut beat Boston College here, and I feel like, all right, that was pretty embarrassing. And Duke beat Miami, Florida, yes, and they probably are the better team, but I guess I'll still stay with that lean plus the 11.5 here. And then we got the Alcorn State game here, and because I don't know, I feel like the Beavers are playing really good, but they're playing in Washington. Washington might get the better. It might get the better. It's 53 points here, so I don't know. Maybe we do take a shot and take with the over here. But I don't know. I think I want to stay with that Beavers here. I don't know. Let's see about this Alcorn State and Prairie View here. Let's see what these two teams like to do here. I mean, I'm a guy who likes to bet the college games, but if I think I'm not gonna get a good fair shake and bet here, and I don't want to. I kind of don't want to. Mumford believes Guinness cornhole history will be made. All right. And we see last night here, Mississippi Valley, they got their first win here. Obviously, Prairie View is 4-1 in the conference here. Obviously, they're Prairie View, Texas here, so they're playing in Texas tonight. So the weather's going to be a little warm there. So let's look at the. I mean, they went 58-48 here to the over here. I mean, Alcorn lost here 35-6 here. So, and then they barely lost by 7, but they put up points against Texas. And then they were at Southern here. And then they were on the road. They beat Mississippi Valley there. So the Prairie Views put up back-to-back 50 burgers. So it's either I'm taking Prairie View or I'm definitely I don't mind taking the over in this one here, the over 51 here, because I don't know. I mean, I think there could be some points here, but maybe there but we'll stick with that here. All right, Miami Heat here. No Jimmy Buckets here. Like I said, I think I kind of like the Pacers here. I'm kind of almost liking the Pacers here a little bit more and more here. That Jimmy Buckets is not playing here tonight. I think Indiana can sneak one at home here. Um, Cleveland and the Pistons. I think I would take that one off here. The Nets and the Wizards here. I mean, yes, I think the Nets are kind of an enamored team here, this and that, but and Kevin Durant here is still out there, and I mean, maybe he's not the only guy out there that wants to win, and they play it closer than most people expect. Like I said, Washington's played a lot better this year, and yeah. So then Philadelphia and the Knicks under 219. Yeah, I think we take away that as well here. The Bulls and Celtics under 223. I'd have to get rid of that as well. I like the under 226.5 here, the Pelicans. And that. The Grizzlies and the Hornets. I think I'm going to stay away from that game tonight here. I think that game. The Clippers and Spurs. I mean, I would love to take the over, but I like the Clippers here. But would it surprise me if San Antonio beats the Clippers tonight? No. Um, Milwaukee. I think I'll take that one off as well here. Oh yeah, there's probably one. Oh, Indiana plus 3.5. No, I don't want that anymore. 10.5 here, Charlotte. So no, we're not taking that one anymore. The under 228 here. We could still take that bet here. It's just minus 138 here. Maybe we do that here. What was the other bet that we had? The Pelicans under 226. Yeah, no, I think we stay with that under 228. Man, I like that. I like that a lot here. The Raptors here, Phoenix, the Jazz. But see, if I'm betting on mine here, I'm gonna have to cut. I'm gonna have to really cut them way down here. So we're really gonna have to. All right. How about this? How about this? How about we take Pacers, Nets? I'll take off the Clippers. I will take off the Suns. We'll take off the Raptors. We'll keep that there. We'll keep Pacers. We'll keep Pacers, Nets, and Jazz. We'll take that as our three NBA. All right. We have college football here. Okay, so do we just take the college football here? I mean, I mean, this Connecticut game kind of scares me. I mean, so does Boston College game, but I think I'm gonna take off this Connecticut game here. We'll put two. How about we do this? We'll take off one of these games and we'll put back one of the NBA games here. So we'll bet. We'll bet. I'll keep the Boston College plus 11.5 here. You know, it's probably gonna. And I probably should take Prairie View, Prairie View A&M, and then they got to win by 10, which probably they could do, but you know, I think they're up to put up more points here. And then I like the Oregon State Beavers here. So, all right. So, out of the games that we took off, what do we think? Which one do we think? Under 217 with the Suns? I mean, or did we just take Suns money line here? I mean, we take Suns money line here. I think yeah, that's our best bet here. So, all right, all right, all right. So that's right. This multi-sports parlay down here for the 4th here, November 4th. May the 4th be with you here. Multi-sports parlay 7-4. I'm sorry if anybody else is out there and they're not talking. Then I'm just talking to myself. I'm just getting my parlay done here, and then I used to. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get off for a bit. Then I'm gonna jump back on after I make my player prop, and we're gonna talk about the games here. We'll do a little bit of play by play with some of the games, NBA action here. We'll do some live reactions from the slate of NBA games here tonight. We'll start off with obviously the first game that's gonna will be Miami and Indiana. and then we'll go into all the other games, give you simultaneous updates. All right. All right. So the first bet we took the Pacers. It's plus 143 now. All right. So we got Indiana, Indiana Pacers money line. It's plus 143. At the time we bet it, it was plus 141. So like that. We're taking the Brooklyn Nets here, money line here, plus 122 here against the Wizards here. We're taking the under 228 points in this Warriors and Hornets. That's minus 135 here. I just thought that's just too easy to. Then we have the Utah Jazz here, money line here, plus 128. They're playing the Lakers tonight here. All right. Oh, and also the Suns here. We also took the Suns money line as well here. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns tonight, money line here. Minus 720 here. So, all right. Then the we have the Boston College Eagles. Take the Eagles here, plus 11.5 on the spread tonight here. That is minus 110. We also took the over 51 points. 51 points here in this Alcorn. Alcorn State versus Prairie View. Prairie A&M. That's minus 110. And then we have the Oregon State Beavers here on the money line. Plus 172. So, all right, we got a lot of emergencies going on right now. A lot of emergencies going on. A lot of emergencies going on here. So we make 238.74 here. That's what we'll make here. If the Indiana Pacers money line plus 143 cashes, the Brooklyn Nets money line plus 122, the under 228 points between the Warriors and Hornets minus 135. We have the Utah Jazz money line plus 128. The Phoenix Suns money line minus 720. We have the Boston College Eagles to cover and at least either win or lose by no more than 11.5 points on the spread, minus 110. We have the over 51 points in the Alcorn State Prairie View A&M football contest. And we have the Oregon State Beavers on the money line, plus 172. So with those, our dollar bet will turn into $238.74. So, all right. So we've hit the 3 o'clock hour here. So we're gonna bounce on out here for a little bit here, and then we're gonna come back on here, and we're gonna talk our, we're gonna talk about the games. We're gonna come on here live reactions to the NBA here. We're gonna do it Friday. It's gonna be our Friday NBA live reaction to the slate. Uh, if anybody's got some fantasy questions as well, we'll be answering fantasy football questions, fantasy basketball questions. Just pop up on in if you could pop up on in if any of you guys that are subscribers, if you follow, if you don't, or whatever, if you just happen to just bump in here and see what kind of crazy shit's going on in here, see what kind of crazy ramblings of a crazy man does. So I mean, so so I'm up and out here. So y'all take care. I'll be back here in less than an hour. So peace out until then. Take care and one love.